Yeah, street fighting. How I started really. When I was a kid, I was to fight. I mean, I used to fight all the time at school. Never stopped fighting. Yeah. And when I got a bit older, um, I used to go to a place in Richmond called the Ivy Shop. Yeah, it was all kids, 16, 17. The Ivy Shop, Ben Sherman shirts, nice suits. You know what I mean? Prince of Wales suits, blue tonic mohair, yellow tonic mohair, all different colours. And the business, you know what I mean? We looked smart. And the Ivy Brogues and the Plains. Listen, mate, us boys looked the business, yeah. And anyway, I used to go to lots of the clubs like Uxbridge, Burton's Uxbridge, a big club there. I used to go to the Blue Triangle in Ealing. These are not on White Hart Acton, but these were only little clubs because all these big clubs only come out late on. This is like the '60s, mid '60s, yeah. So one day I was entirely with my pals. I had a nice tonic mohair suit on, Ben Sherman shirt and all the business, going to this place called the Blue Triangle in Ealing Broadway, and proper little club. You know, it wasn't big, but it was nice. You know what I mean? Walked in there, and you get the atmosphere straight away. I thought, oh, you know, everybody's looking at us. They all got the same sort of clothes on we got. You know, some were wearing hats and all that. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to kick off. I ain't stopped fighting. I'm always fighting anyway. I'm only with four of my pals, and we're all quite game having a fight. And anyway, all of a sudden, I could feel the atmosphere really building up, and these guys are looking at us. And there was a guy that became a mate of mine called Brian Jones, and his name was the Pig because he wasn't a good-looking guy, but he was the stocky little guy and could have a right fight, yeah. And they had a little firm, and they used to wear these what do you call them, Blakes on the back of their shoes, you know, on the heels, click click click, walking down the road, all that, you know. And it was a little firm, 30 of them, 40 of them, and they used to run Ealing Broadway. They tried to come into Acton, but they got fucked off, you know. Anyway, so I'm down in the club, having a bit of a dance and enjoying my life and with my mates and this, that and the other, but we know it's going to kick off. We feel it's going to kick off. So my mates are going to me, come on, we get out of here, it's going to kick off. I said, no, stay. I want to stay. And anyway, because the guys kept looking over to us, and I walked over to one of them. He got a bit, oh bang! I've hit him on the chin. Down he's gone. I'm fighting this kid, and it's off. I know it's off. Yeah, I knew anyway he's going to kick off, and there's me getting kicked to death. You know what I mean, and punched to death. But I'm getting up and I'm fighting. You know, I've knocked three or four people out. Yeah, not knocked them out, but I've hit them on the chin. They've gone down. You know, and just staying there, and I've hit a few more. And my mates come in to help me, and they were getting smashed to pieces. I was getting done, and it was a proper fight. I loved it, mate. And the bouncers come in, big bouncers. You had Murray Bush there. You had Dave Griffiths there. I know all his names because but Murray Bush was the main one, yeah. So he's pulling us all off and this, that and the other. And he gets on me, kicks me up the arse and puts me out with my pals. And we're all walking down the road, we're all like, you know, all bashed up, you know. And my jacket, my suit is all ripped. And, you know, and I think, we've got blood everywhere. My mate's got blood everywhere. All the suits have got the same thing. And we're walking back, and we all decided to get on a bus, a 207 bus that takes us into Acton. It was not, the clubs in them days weren't that late, 12 o'clock, maybe half 12, as you know, in them days. So we're on the bus, and all of a sudden, mate, this little firm, you know, this Ealing mob, you know, they're all at a bus stop. I think, oh, what are you going to go on the bus? You know what I mean? So we shot upstairs, run upstairs, and they come upstairs. They didn't see us, but we were sitting down the end of the bus. And there's four of us, and they come upstairs, Brian Jones, about six of them, yeah. But they wanted it, mate. They come up and they see us, they come over to us, we started straight away. We're fighting straight away, no trouble, bang, bang. They go bang, bang, and give me some stick, bang, and I'm giving it them, and right fight, and we had to get off the bus. I mean, we got off the bus, we run along, had a fight, we run down the thing, down the stairs, off the bus, yeah. And in them days, it wasn't none of this like they are now. It was no opening doors. It was like just get off the bus. You know what I mean? So we got off the bus, and they're like going to get off the bus now and do the same thing, and we're going to have another punch up. You know, and they jumped off the bus, and we steamed into them. They steamed into us. It was a big fight. I've done a couple, and this guy Brian Jones became my mate later on, and I said to Brian, listen, let's not have no more fights in the street because we're going to get nicked. You come on, let's go somewhere and have a right fight. He went, I'll tell you what to do. He said, I'll meet you tomorrow in Ealing Common. Over Ealing Common, we have a fight out there, me and you, yeah? I went, yeah, okay, what time? He said, what time? I said, 1 o'clock. Right, bump. I was there 1 o'clock, he was at 1 o'clock, me and Brian Jones. And we had a big fight, me and Brian. I mean, a proper big fight. I went over there with jeans on, what was it called? 501 jeans. You know, and you know, it was like jeans and boots and all the Dr. Martin boots and all that. Went over there and had a right punch up me and him. There was no real winners. We steamed into each other and become pals. We become pals and we become fighting pals. And then me, Brian, and about 8 of his mates went to another club in Uxbridge called Burton's Uxbridge, and went in there, and we just wanted to fight, and it was just one of the things. You're going all smart, you know, and you go in there, and you come out there for a fight, you know. And when you come outside, you start bang bang, and it's, you know, lovely, mate. I just love that fighting game. And when I went to the White Hart Acton, because Acton was right on my doorstep, you know. White Hart Acton, we used to fight in there 24/7, and there were some guys in there that become real dangerous people, like Tommy Green. Tommy Green, who killed Joey Rouse, he was a dangerous, mate. Him, Jackie Lang, they was all dangerous. All walk around with great big knives in their back pocket, you know what I mean? They was dangerous, mate, flick knives a lot, yeah. But they was always Mickey Everton, Keith Everton, you know, but Tommy Green was one of the worst ones. And his brother Freddie, Freddie's my age, we all grew up together, and from the Val Flats and all that, and we used to fight. We used to fight a lot, not as away from each other, fight as a firm, yeah. And we'd go to clubs. When I was going to the Castle, Richmond, I've had a few fights in the Castle, but later on in my life, with Bobby Collins and all that lot, and we was a little further from the market. There was to fight down there, but before that, we used to go down there. Tommy Green, Freddie Green, Mickey Everton, Keith Everton, a load of Jackie Lang, all dangerous people, mate. Just go down there and have a right fight, and people get really stabbed up, you know, because that was what they used to do. But I used to like a fight on the street. I love to fight on the street, and that's why I got into street fighting. You know, I just thought to myself, you know, well, and then actually get paid for it as well. People would pay me to go and see people, like an enforcer, really. But I was only a kid, as like an enforcer, getting money off, you know, people owing money and all that, and having a fight with people, chilling people. Yeah, I used to do that all the time. Never stopped. And it's just one of the things that was born into me, fighting. You know, loved to fight. My brother Keith, he was a better man than me. Me and him as kids used to fight all the time. He used to always knock me out as such, you know what I mean, put me on my arse, bash me up as a kid, always. And after a while, you grew up, you get better. And then, you know, me and him just, we realised that it wasn't worth it, mate. That we were going to kill each other. You know, I ain't gonna say I was better than him. And I dare say he would say he was better than me, you know, but we used to fight a lot, me and my brother Keith. You know, but now, you know, he knows it's different now. But in them days, you know, my brother Keith was really better than me. You know, he could punch. My brother Keith, he was a good fighter, and you know, fighting was what I did. Going over the fair in Acton and fighting guys on the booths over there. Yeah, I used to love it. Fight, mate. I used to just love it. You know, it was, and then go down a boxing club and start down a club, and then, you know, and then fighting with a guy called Nicky Smith. Me and Nicky Smith must have had 10 fights, you know, not real fights really. They was fights whereas I'd bash him up, knock him out. He'd come back 3 or 4 days later, hit with an iron bar across the neck, back of my head, you know, and then steam into me. And, you know, I'd always get up later, you know, later, and then find him and then knock him out again. And we'd have fights after fights after fights, you know, and one day we was going to one of us would kill each other, you know, because, I mean, I've had a fight with him, bashed him right up one day, and later on, he come back and drove at me with his little mini miner, knocked me up in the air, and he reversed back to go over my head, mate, and I just pulled out of the way, otherwise he'd have killed me, you know what I mean? He was a lunatic, Nicky, but he become very dangerous. He done plenty of birding. He got a life for murder, I think it was, but he was dangerous. I mean, I remember the time he knocked a whole windscreen out, not the back screen of his Mini, another car. I think it was Triumph 2000. He was being chased by the old Bill. Got in the back seat, smashed the window, boom, boom, done him with a 12 ball, shot all the windows out. I'm not quite sure, he got 17 years for that or something like that. And then one day, me and him used to fight. I mean, me and him, you know, everybody knows what it was like. Me and him, we used to fight on the street. It's got to a stage where one of us was going to kill each other. You know what I mean? And for years, 4, 5, 6 years maybe, always fighting. Never ever. No matter where I was, Chiswick Bottom Club in Acton, anywhere I was, yeah, no, anywhere. If he was there, me and him would fight. It just had to happen, fight. And when he got his big bird, and I was finishing my bird, I was in the scrubs, I was walking down some stairs, and I think it was Seawing, and he was walking upstairs, and mate, we just see each other and laughed and looked like a little cry, you know what I mean? Cuddled each other, and I thought to myself, me and him could have been the best of pals, you know. And he just looked at me, all right, mate, and I cuddled him, all right, mate. And yeah, we was fighting, you know, all the time. I was the better man, but he was the more dangerous man than what I was. He was more dangerous, whereas he would never fight with his fist. He'd always fight with something else. Hammer, bottles, glasses, lumps of lead, you know, iron bar, bits of wood. He'd always fight with something, cars, you know, he's that sort of person. I remember walking down the road and I see him in a car. And I went, oh no, not again. And he drove around the corner and I thought, oh sweet. And I'm walking up the road and he came up behind me. He hit me with, I don't know, whatever he hit me with, he knocked me spark out, mate. You know, knocked me spark out. He steamed into me. He kicked my face. He just kicked my face in, smashed my face, and then went, you know. And I woke up, it must have been, I don't know, how long ago was it? Might have been an hour, 2 hours. But all my face was smashed, pouring with blood, done on my nose, I cut my eyes, done on my ribs. You know, I was away for about, 2 weeks, you know, in a bad way, you know. And when I come out, I thought, this has got to end. And then I see him one day, and we had a fight down the High Street again, and it kicked on, it got worse. I bashed him up really bad that time, because of what happened to me. and then as I say, we see each other in the scrubs and become white pals, and that's what was it. But me as a street fighter, I loved it, mate. I loved it. I loved to get phone calls from people to say, look, Ray, can you help us out? Got a little bit of trouble, mate. Someone, has bashed my son up. Can you help me out? I'll give you whatever. I go and see them. Go, yeah, sort it out. Who is it? Oh, it was, ooh, this guy can have a fight. You know what I mean? This guy can have a right fight. Yeah, but I'm going to go and see him. I go and see him, meet him somewhere, and then steam into him. And I'm on about have a proper fight with the guy. You know what I mean? Bash him up, or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, I used to bash him up, knock him out, and that's it, and get the money. And that, but everybody knew who I was in Acton, West London. They all knew who I was. Then I was later on. Well, not later on. 16, 17, going to the fruit market and then get the ball store, the YP. But working in the fruit market was something that changed my life. Meeting people like Colin Cracknell, Martin Worsfold, Derek Pearce, all the Collinses, all the Welleses, so many people, people that could really, really march on, yeah. Everyone in that market, especially potato porters, people that worked in the potato growers, and people kept on big orange apples, and powerful men. And you're going in there as a kid, this is when I was like 15, 16, going in there as a kid and meeting these men who could really have a right fight, could really march on. And you're learning all the time from them, like Colin Cracknell. I'll talk about Colin quite a lot because I respect the man who he was. He didn't care for anybody, any man. He would fight anyone. And Ginger Carlisle, another one, Ginger Carlisle. This guy, Ginger Carlisle, dangerous, but got a guy could really march on. A guy that my co-defendant, Martin Worsfold, big guy, powerful guy, works in a potato company. I forget the name of that potato company, but he was powerful, mate, and he could really fight. I've seen him have so many fights in there. Derek Pearce, number one. Me and Derek was together quite a lot. He used to train me. I used to go to the Hamwell Boxing Club and all that, and he was a good fighter, Derek Pearce. Always walking up and down Chiswick High Street. You might even see him now, Derek. One of them guys. But everybody in the market could fight. The Welleses, they're all mad. And then you see it in the market, people stand up, and have a proper fight, mate. London is like hitting someone with an axe or a big knife or a chopper or whatever it is, but really standing up there and having a proper fight, bang, proper fight. And you think, oh, wow. And then I got involved with Cracknell, teaching me to fight. And then I become like them all, having fights in the market with people on the cobbles. And then Christmas come, and then you get all the trees come in, all the travellers, all the travellers come in, gypsy travellers come in, the Frankhams, the Stevenses. You got Johnny Frankham, there's Stevens, all the Stevenses, all the Frankhams come in, and all fighters. You see them on the cobbles, mate. They can march on. And the thing is, those to come in because it's winter with these great big coats on, overcoats on, and their hats and everything, and big scarves, and stand up and have a fight, even with all that on, and win. You know what I mean? And I used to see it all the time. I used to see porters in there doing the trees. That was my job, the trees, with the barrow, put the thing up, and run around delivering the trees. But you had quite a lot porters in there that had nicked my job, and you know, they get involved. Then you get the Frankums or the Stevenses telling them this and telling them that. You get a few porters get a bit leery, and the Stevenses have a fight, and they'd knock them spark out. Yeah, Stevenses, Frankums, a big family. It's not a small family; they're big families. You know what I mean? And they can really have it, mate. You know, and when they come in the fruit market, you knew that it's going to kick off. It's always kicking off between travellers, gypsy travellers, always. Always, 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 you know, and they're good fights, and they're proper fights, yeah. I missed that market, mate. I missed that fruit market so much. And then go to Ballstall, and you know, and Ballstalls, Portland Ballstalls, and then fighting there, mate. You know, I mean, you're meeting people in there that can really march on, people that are aggravation, and you know, because you're going in there, and you're going there from Acton, and you're meeting people from all over England, yeah. And there's a dangerous. Portland was a hard place because everybody who went to Portland was an handful. Even, you know, like it's like that, you know. And I was in there fighting all the time, and then it's tried to escape. And why not Rochester Ballstall? That's as even fucking worse. Rochester, and you got Mullen in Rochester. You know, it was a proper Ballstall, hard, mate. Everywhere you went, burpees, leg thrusts, press ups. Oh, drive me mad. But you come out there like a soldier. You come out there so fit. You want to fight everybody in the world, you know. And when I eventually come out of my ball stall, went in the fruit market, and you know, and learnt so much in the fruit market, and then done something silly, an armed robbery, and then get put in my YP 3 years, 6 months, and then in there meet some people, Malcolm Peace, meet people that can really march on in there, you know. There's people in there in my YP. I remember Malcolm very well because Gary, my mate, used to train with me in the gym and the powerlifting team. I forget their second names, yeah. Malcolm Peace, I remember because seeing him in the book and getting Matt Legg talking about him, and he's my pal, you know. And get all them people, and they could really fight. And there was people in that my YP then in them days that are proper faces, gangsters later on, you know. And I forget their names, but when I used to see them, wow, you know, it's, you think, wow. I'm sure one of the Dixons is in there, George Dick. I'm not quite sure, you know. Like it all goes back to big people in there, and fighting was the fight. I used to love fighting in my Ballstall, in my YP. You could have a good fight in my YP, you know, and fights were regular, you know, and to see, we used to get in the football pitch and fight all the time, and the PTIs, Rodwell and Johnson, you know, old Johnson loved to fight, Rodwell loved to fight, and they get in the gym and let us fight. And then the day, me and this black guy had a right fight, and you know, I went in the showers, I knocked him out, I bashed him up, and then later on, we're getting onto the main ring, and then he bit my ear. He took my ear, bit it off at the back, ripped it off. Yeah, mate. You know, like proper fights, mate. Proper fights, and then later on, I become a street fighter, proper street fighter. You know, going from where I lived to Lewisham, and from prison to Lewisham, and fighting. I loved it, mate. I loved to fight, you know. And when you went to Lewisham, and I was doing the unlicensed fighting, it's what I wanted, you know. It's what I wanted as a man. And you know, from Acton to Lewisham, no one knows who I am. No one knows who I am. I'm the only man from where I am, around my areas, that went out of the way to fight these people. You know, you got to have some arsehole to do that, you know what I mean? And go out and meet proper gangsters, mate. You know, meet proper gangsters, Jimmy Stewart, Eddie Richardson, Charlie Richardson. I mean, to meet, you know, Lenny McLean, Roy Shaws, Cliff Fields, and all these people you're meeting, yeah? Columbos and Lloyd Wolframs, and there's so many people that are fighters, and you're meeting them all, You know, not only meeting them, you're fighting them. You get in the ring, you're fighting them, mate. And I met Lenny. I met Lenny McLean. Lenny McLean, what was he, 16 stone, 16 and a half stone, same as me. Met him at the Rainbow Theatre. We fought Brian Hall. And, you know, and it's like everything. When you're a fighter, you don't, names are just names. People's names are just people's names. It doesn't mean nothing that, you know, what? So what? I'll fight you, mate. You're only a name. You can only kill me in the ring. There's no knives and guns. We've both got fists. You know, we can fight. And, you know, and I wasn't fighting over any of those. And I had one of the best trainers, Jimmy Tibbett. He trained me really good. I used to run miles and miles and miles. I was getting to Beckett and spar so many rounds, mate, and train with him all the time, you know, and be with him, you know, be with Cliff Fields, be with Jimmy Tibbett, go and do enforcer work, getting money back from people, you know, and then later on in my life, I'm not only am I doing that as an enforcer, I'll get Big Bird, one up at the end of it all, about 90 odd years, 79 come out, Lewisham, got a bit more Bird, about 80s, 90s, 92, 91, 92, 93, met Mickey Gooch, my pal. I looked after when I was in Brixton, I had a few fights in Brixton for him, you know, and then got with a big company, and you know, and then become the same thing, become an enforcer, become just a bodyguard really, going to all the clubs, Pedenzis, Power Joeys, Bootleggers, Blondes, you know, Samantha's, Extreme for them, go to So Browns, go to so many clubs, and just be with them 24/7, you know, be with them from Friday to Sunday, you know, and yeah, and I'd never, always watch them, watch their backs. That was my job. I was 19, 20, 21 stone, big, powerful man that could really fight, because it's been in me to fight. And I looked after these people, you know, no matter where they went, I was with them. When we went to Browns, I was with them, you know, Gary Stretches, Nigel Benz, all that lot, I was there with them. I was there, you know, and I was proud to be with them, you know. Come home, you know, later on, you know, I lived in Kingston, I got all the cars I wanted, and respect. I had a lot of respect. People respected me because of who I was with, yeah, and they knew that no matter what, no one could oblige, no one could step on my toes, because if they did, I had all that backing up, you know, all the people to back me up. But I was a big backup anyway. That is what I'd done, 24/7. I was with them. Phone call, bump there. Whatever, bump car there, bump. Whatever they bumped them there. Wherever they wanted, I was there. I was always there, mate. Always there. I never ever was not let them down. Never. You know, fighting, doing all sorts of things, you know, and I loved what I was doing. And then one day, it all went boss-eyed, and then after that, and then I get my IPP, and then fighting never even come into my life then. Once I got my IPP, I had to wipe my mouth. I had to, many times when I was in prison, mate, as an IPP, did I want to kill someone bad. But because of the IPP, it controlled me, yeah? It was hard, but I controlled myself, how to do things the right way, to get out, you know. And when they're telling you that you've got an IPP, and you don't understand what an IPP is, and they give you 2.5 years, and you've already done 2.5 years on remand, and you're thinking, I should be let out, shouldn't I? And then being told that, no, mate, you've got to, you know, finish your sentence. What is my sentence? Your sentence is 99 years. And you can't believe it. You're thinking, wow, what have I done? All I've done was a mobile phone warehouse and had a fight and bash someone up. And now they give me an IPP, you know. But that's what they did. That's what they did. And I was one of the first ones to get it. I was one of the first ones to get IPP. And because I was one of the first ones to get the IPP, I was lucky enough to do my courses. I was lucky enough I didn't have to go Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, Leeds, all around England to do a course. Yeah, I could do my course in the Mount. So I done my courses in the Mount with the psychology, and doing my courses with the psychology. And believe me, mate, when you're in prison with big men, and big men have got a lot to say for themselves, right? And you've got to eat humble pie, because you know if you don't eat humble pie, and one day you slip up, that slip up could set you back 10 years. Is it worth it? So you have to wipe your mouth and go, wow, I've got to keep my mouth shut. I've got to do what I've got to do. I've got to do what I've got to do. I've got to do my bird and get out, mate. Do my courses and get out. I used to do courses. I was dyslexic. And that's the only fight that I had. I was no longer a street fighter. I was a fighter that had to learn my English, had to learn how to read, had to learn how to write. I was dyslexic, I couldn't do none of this. So I should stay up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, writing, learning, learning all the time. And you believe me, mate, and you're going to yourself, if I don't do this, I ain't never gonna get out. I ain't never gonna get out. And I'm lucky because I'm one of the first IPPs. But even lucky or not lucky, I've been out of prison now 10, 11, 12 years, and I've not had any problems. I've kept my nose clean. I don't want to get involved in any aggro or nothing like that. That is, IPP sorted me out, yeah? Sorted me out, whereas, it's easy. The easiest thing in the world, yeah, is to go and meet people and have a row and bash them up. But the hardest thing in the world, and the hardest thing in the world, is to wipe your mouth and walk away from it. And they're looking at you as if you're a coward, and you've got to walk away, because you get involved, you're going to get a recall, and you're never going to see daylight again. And the 19th of this month, I've got to go to my probation to find out my results. I've already been recommended from parole board and probation, not parole board, sorry, yeah, parole board and probation, that I've been recommended to come off the IPP. Now, it's up to the Home Office to see if they're going to let me come out of the IPP so I can live my life. I haven't been able to go nowhere. I haven't been able to go to a pub. I haven't been able to go to a club. I haven't been able to really meet people late at night because I'm always frightened if it kicks off somewhere and I'm asked to be there. Camera, I might not be involved in any fights, but if they get me on camera, I could get a recall. I could be in a car with people. Let me tell you something. When I come out of prison as an IPP, I lived with my mum in Acton, and my probation officer was in Askew Road, Hammersmith. I went to see my probation officer, and I was with this short, muscular guy, probation officer. He had a lot to say for himself, and he had right, but he kept digging me out, but maybe for a reason. I wiped my mouth. One day I come out of the probation, and my mate was driving down the road. Beep, beep. All right, mate, where you going? Well, I'm going home Acton. Get in, I'll give you a lift. Got in the car. I was seen getting in the car, and bumped by members of the MAPA. They reported me to my probation officer. My probation officer phoned me up when I was at home. Ray, I need to see you now urgently. What's it about? Don't worry about what it's about. Come and see me urgently. I said, is there a problem? Don't worry, come and see me. I walked all the way there from my house in Acton to Askew Road, walked down all the back roads, everything. Wondered what was going on. Went inside. He told me that I was so lucky that I might get a recall, yeah, for getting in the car with somebody who's a known criminal. Who's a known criminal? My mate. He's not a known criminal. I've never known him to do anything wrong in his life. You know, and they're telling me that he got 6 months for taking and driving my car. And then there's me sitting in the car. And they want to give me a recall for that. And I thought to myself, wow, how dangerous is that? And I think then I'll go, well, I really can't be seeing people like that. You know, it changes your whole life. Your whole life changes. You don't know where they are, who's watching you or whatever. You know, and to be out now, 11, 12 years on the street, and never had a recall, never had a problem, is just unbelievable. You know what I mean? But I've had to put my nut down, mate, and just do other things like my book, and do YouTube, do podcasts, and do everything I can do without leaving my fucking house, without leaving where I live, training every day, without leaving where I live. You know what I mean? It's like that's what it's got to. And I ain't been able to live my life as such, you know. God save me, like I'm with someone that stands by me, you know what I mean? And that person I love to death is my mate, Terry. You know, he stands by me 24/7. Without him, I don't know what to do, you know. So, you know, me being a fighter all my life, this is a different fight. This is a different fight, mate. This is a fight. You're fighting the government, yeah? You're fighting rules, regulations to get out of prison because I'm still in prison. It doesn't matter about all the nice things, all the big places you live in, all the nice cars you get into, you drive with your mate. It doesn't matter about all that. I don't go to pubs, don't go to clubs, don't go nowhere. But it doesn't matter about having all these niceties. You're not living. You're not living, you know. It's a shame. And I'm just hoping now on the 19th of this month that I'll get a result, you know, and I can start living my life. More like it won't even change. More like it won't even change me. But the difference is, hopefully I'll be able to go away. Hopefully I'll be able to get a passport. You know, hopefully I'll be able to fly out somewhere and have a holiday, you know. Yeah, it's the IPP, mate, is something that sorted me out, you know, and a lot of people, it sorted them out too, i.e. when they killed themselves, where they can't cope with the pressure of an IPP, because an IPP sentence isn't something you can laugh about. Even a lifer who's killed somebody, who killed maybe 2 or 3 people or whatever, they have a date. When I say have a date, they come out of prison, they got other chances of finishing between 20, 14, 15 years. I've done near 20 odd years of this. You know what I mean? And I ain't killed anybody. All I've done is hurt someone, which I suppose I'm perpetual. I was perpetual hurting people. It was perpetual being a violent man. You know, it's not what you get nicked for. It's what police know about you and get to hear about you from other people. And they don't take a lot of notice until something really happens and they realise, this is true. This is what he's like. This is the man, this is what this guy does. He bashes people up. He bashes people up for a living. That's what he does. Because as a kid, I was a street fighter. I was a fighter as a kid. Always thought fighting was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? And I was fighting because as a profession in the end, as to get money as a fighter, to go and hurt people as a fighter, to get cash. I was one of them people, right, that woke up in the morning, early in the morning, when I was in the fruit market, or at night time when I was at night porter, go to the market, get up, say when I was as a porter 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, go to the market, work. But when I got put away and lost all that, and then I thought to myself, what's the point? What's the point of getting up early in the morning, 7 o'clock, going to work, getting home at 7 o'clock, getting in the bath and going to bed and doing that 24/7 and getting money for it? But whereas I could go out, see someone who owes money, bump, give them a clump and get good money for it. That's what I used to do. Anyway, I'm just about to say that as a fighter, I started mentioning, listen, I train most days. Right? I train as much as I can. I train, go to the gym, 55 an hour and a bit. I train. I don't stop. I love it. Right? And people keep saying to me, slow down, don't do it. Don't do it today, do it tomorrow, don't do that. You're going to keel over in a minute. But why would I keel over? All I'm doing is giving my body what it needs. It needs to be moving. Your blood needs to be moving around your body. It needs to be moving. Your heart needs to be pumping. There's no point in the blood just slowly trickling and it all congealed and arteries get blocked up and all that. I want to keep training. I want to keep alive. I want to keep alive. You know, no one knows. No one believes the age I am because the way I talk, the way I move, the way I train. No one believes what I am because I keep myself like that, mate. I keep fit. I keep as fit as I can. I'm not fit. I mean, I'll get on a boxing bag. I could only do 1 minute rounds. As before, I used to do 3 minute rounds and go and do 8 rounds, 10 rounds. Now I can just about do 6. I can do 10 singles. A bit hard, yeah? You know what I mean? But I'm still moving. I'm in that gym for 45 to 50 minutes, mate. You know, still walking on the treadmills. Still shadow boxing with big weights in my hand. Still going on the floor doing lat pulls. Still benching on the bar doing 30s and 40 reps. Still doing what I can do to, and coming out there absolutely shattered, like I could faint, you know. But when I come in, I sit down, have a cup of tea and have a sandwich or whatever, and I don't go to sleep. I don't go to sleep, get in the shower, have a change, and carry on until night time. And sometimes night I don't go to bed till 2 to 3 when I'm up again training. That's my life, man. That's my life, you know. And I don't go around bashing people up no more. I don't go around hurting people no more. People even still phone me up today for asking me to do things. I can't do it, mate. I don't want to get involved in it. I don't want to go and get 10 years no more. I don't want to go and get 5 years, even 2 years, even a year, even a day. I don't want to get locked up no more. I've had enough. I've had enough, mate. I've had enough. Enough's enough, isn't it? You know what I mean? You go, oh, no more, mate. I've had enough of that shit. You know what I mean? Going out, doing this, doing that, you know. But you're still going to get, you still get your level ones, you still get your ones that think they are who they are. Yeah, think they're big time Charlie potatoes. And they ain't no one, mate. They're no one. They think they are. They think they are until they meet the right person. You know, but the right person's not me. I don't get involved in it no more. You know what I mean? I could easily go up there and whip and just squash their heads like a grape. But what's the point? What's the point? I'll be in for the rest of my life. Bang, bang, my all. Good morning. Nice one.